probably good to get started.
Right. All right. Hi, everybody. How do you want to start things? I actually had nothing to do with putting this agenda together. So this was all Rachel, although I do see a few things here that did come out of conversations that I have had with people. Do we want to go around and do reintroductions?
Sure, I think that would be great.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm Amherst Williams. I'm the executive director of the Connecticut League of Museums and the chair of this subcommittee. Tom, I don't think we've met yet.
I don't think we've met yet either, Amherst. I'm
Great.
Tom Scanlon. I work in Governor Lamont's office. I oversee our boards and commissions portfolio, and I'm the governor's designee for the America 250 Commission. It's nice to see
Awesome.
everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Kathy, you want to go?
Yep, Kathy Labdia from the Connecticut State Historic Preservation Office. And I apologize because I just ate a peanut butter sandwich and I feel like my tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth. But nice to see everybody.
Merle? You with us?
I am with you in spirit and body, mind, and soul. Merle McGee, President and CEO of Everyday Democracy, and delighted to be here. It's been a minute. Sorry.
Margaret?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Margaret Kahn. I am the treasurer of the Connecticut Library Association and also the director of the Booth and Dimick Library in Coventry.
Jonathan?
Hi, everybody. Jonathan Slifka from the Department of Aging and Disability Services.
Great. Thanks. Scott? You're with us. We're just doing a quick round of introductions.
Good afternoon, everybody. Scott Wands, Deputy Director for Grants and Programs at Connecticut Humanities.
And I assume Cindy needs no introduction, but I'm going to include her anyway.
No need. Cindy Tolosa, project manager for the 250th, and the person you're all sick of hearing from. So just a quick update. We are ready to, so one of the major points on our agenda today is kind of talking through how to get the last 64 towns or so on board for the commission in terms of getting their local committees up and running. Part of the reason we're hoping to do this is because we are planning to launch Give 250 next week, and that will be a giving day where local committees are able to fundraise for their initiatives. So we are excited to be putting that together. I believe yesterday, if not today, an invitation was sent out to all of the committees that we have on board so far, and also all of the major elected officials. So all of the chief elected officials for towns and municipalities around the state. So Give 250 for now will be entirely focused on municipalities. In the future, we are considering using the same type of platform to allow nonprofits to do fundraising for their 250th initiatives, but felt that the easiest way to start with this as an organization that has not done this in the past in terms of the back end is to limit it to the 169 municipalities. And then in the future, we can expand beyond that, but see what it's like managing less than 200 organizations before we go full into however many would be interested in participating. So that is where we are with that. It will take place July 1st to 11th. I think there will be varying levels of success. So we really haven't tried to put any firm number goals on this fundraising opportunity. I think if we can get gifts for all of the towns, that would be amazing in my opinion. All of the towns that choose to participate, and if we can get 80% of Connecticut municipalities to participate, I would be pretty happy with that. We are at about 105 local committees in the state. So I think I mentioned we're looking at recruiting another 64. So happy to take questions on any of that. Explain a little more.
Cindy, in terms of
So-
the towns that haven't come aboard yet, I'm wondering if there's a correlation in terms of their geography, size of the town. No? Okay. Are you not getting like, is it radio silence? Are they just not responding to you, or?
For the most part, we just haven't heard back from those towns. A lot of the other towns we've heard back either with questions and then finally a contact, or with a contact immediately. The towns that are left over are much more silent in general.
Okay.
We'll go through that list in a couple of minutes, but I
Yeah.
think the other thing that would be helpful is if anybody on this call has heard of any work going on in those towns that we might not be aware of. For example, I know Colchester is on, or was on the list. I don't know for sure that it still is, but a coalition of organizations from Colchester came in for a grant from Connecticut Humanities, but they did not have an official town committee yet. And what I can't remember is if that has since changed, because I know we reached out to them after that.
Was the Historical Society a part of that group?
I think so.
Okay, because we have contacts there, like Gigi Liver, and there's one other woman who. Okay.
Yeah. And in some cases, I think there have been groups working, but the municipality itself has not been ready to say, yes, this is the person we're going to put forth. And that list is shrinking. Hartford was on that list for a very long time, and they finally admitted somebody. Yeah. So
That's a
that list
win.
and same with New Haven. And I think it's just because of the nature of city government, it's a
Yeah.
lot bigger and
Yeah.
harder to get through. But yeah, so to answer your question, John, it's a wide range.
Yeah, I had a bad feeling. It was worth asking.
It would be easy if we could point at it and say, this is what we're doing wrong, look, but no.
Yeah.
We're going this way. Come on.
So are you is it GiveGab that you're using for the, okay, all right, because I've worked on obviously the organizational end of that, but never on the back end. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it's probably good to do a test run and see what the participation is like. So so the municipalities will sign up as the organizations, and then they
Correct.
can designate their sort of peer fundraisers within the group. Okay, great.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing that I think, and hopefully GiveGab is giving you all the like training and stuff that they do for organizations that are participating. But I think that I've just done this twice in like the past month for the league, and then I also sing with a chorus in New Haven that does the New Haven one. And the key for successful fundraising is really mobilizing as many peer fundraisers as possible and getting them to basically reach out for as many as possible small donations from as many people as possible. So you can be quite successful. It just takes a fair bit of prep. And for folks who have never participated in one before, it can be really challenging to kind of get what makes it work, I think. I still like perennially have this challenge with my board. I feel like if everyone were raising the amount of money that I'm like asking them to raise, we would always be meeting our goal. But I think it's a good platform and is pretty user friendly. So I think it's a great idea to really grassroots fundraise this when we have basically no support. So
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
that's our hope. I think I don't think municipalities are going to receive what they want from the commission.
No.
I think municipalities in a dream world would be getting significant funding from us. So I'm hopeful that this can at least give them some starting funds to take on some of the initiatives that they're hoping for.
Right.
So
Now, are you working to like have matching fund or like a bonus pool of funds from, okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
that's always that always helps.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
We are working on it. We haven't had a lot of responses, but are planning on more heavy follow-up next week. So
Sure.
hopeful that by the end of the month, we have some success to share with folks.
Great. Very good. Are there any other updates from around the room that folks want to share? No. Tom.
Thanks, Damaris. Cindy and I talked a little bit about this last week on Friday, but we are currently working on exploring the potential of having a small fundraiser at the governor's residence, perhaps in June or early July. It might possibly be moved out to August, depending on the amount of review time needed. My strong suspicion is that is something that the Office of State Ethics is going to need to sign off and approve just in advance of us utilizing that space. I think, we're just sort of exploring it right now, and seeing if that's going to be an option. The governor has indicated that he would strongly be supportive of that. He and Denise actually had a meeting, I think last week on either Wednesday or Thursday, to just begin that conversation. So Cindy and I are going to be working on that together. And, I think we talked about it a little bit last week. So, it's something sort of exciting to look forward to. Obviously, everyone on the commission will be invited, and we'll need to sort of work on what the rest of the guest list looks like. So I just wanted to share that.
Cool.
I wasn't sure if we were going public yet. So yay. Oh no, don't worry. If you said it, that means I can say it.
Yeah, like I said, we're exploring the option of it, and it's still it's very much in its nascency. So it's just something exciting that might happen. So I just figured mentioning, and I apologize if I jumped ahead a little bit, Cindy, but
Not at all.
Yeah. And I'll mention two other not fundraising initiatives, but other kind of local initiatives. Denise is working on moving forward that Liberty Trees idea that we've talked about a few times. So and I think Tom, you're helping with that as well. And is speaking with folks at UConn about how this might move forward. There are lots of different options. She's asked us to send an email out to the commission to kind of get a working group formed for anybody who might be interested in getting involved, to kind of help shape what this looks like. Folks at UConn are proposing lots and lots of different ways we could do this, whether it's white oak trees in general, an actual offshoot of the charter oak, some other initiative with trees that isn't necessarily an oak tree and that maybe even possibly isn't an actual tree. Like, do we do some kind of tree themed project with students in schools? So lots of different ideas. So did someone say something? Okay. So we'll be sending out an email to see who might want to be part of these conversations and help kind of shape this for moving forward. But I know this originated as an opportunity to get trees into municipalities. So that part of the idea is still on the table as well. And then the last kind of more local committee initiative would be the proclamations that we've talked about a couple of times, going out to municipalities around the state and giving them the opportunity to sign on to the ideals and the values that the commission is setting forth. And then this would hopefully be a precursor to a recommitment ceremony for July of 2026, kind of recommitting to the ideals of the Declaration of Independence and having all of the towns on board for that. So local committees are important for all of the above and much more.
That's great. I would be interested in participating in what's ever happening with the tree thing, if that, however that materializes or takes form or takes root. Well, right. Any other updates from the group? We have our, the league has our annual conference coming up on June 2nd. So there will be 250th. There are, there's at least one from Cindy and Rachel related to the 250th, but we have a couple of other sessions that are sort of loosely 250th aligned. And I know that Connecticut Humanities will have a table in our exhibitor hall and presumably be doing some 250th stuff there too. Okay. If no one has any other updates, I think we can move on to item 2, which I think is digging into some of this local outreach.
It looks like many of you are here. Ahead and share my screen as we kind of go. Oops. I hit the wrong share, sorry. I'll share my screen as we move through this so that folks can follow along as well. Maybe. There we go. That's where I usually know how to do this. I don't know why my computer is misbehaving today. Okay. So I think, as I said, we have 64 towns. We have, I think, 6 of us on the call today. If folks would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I know we have a couple of other people who I'm sure would be more than willing to be voluntold to do some towns. But I know at a past meeting, I wasn't here for that one, and folks kind of had these pre-divided. And so we are just looking to kind of allow people to choose a town that they might have more of a connection with, and kind of do that for this round of outreach. We're looking at give or take 8 or so per subcommittee member. We have a template that was linked in the agenda, so really easy outreach, and we're just asking to copy that info@ct250.org email and reach out to these folks. And if you have some spare time, give them a call as well, just in case they're missing the email.
And can you check? I noticed there's at least one phone number there that's got an issue. So I think just making sure that that gets checked.
Yeah.
Cindy, we as an office maintain a municipal dashboard. I can cross-reference some of the numbers against what we might have on file and just see if.
Sure, that would be helpful. I think
okay.
we got the original list from the Secretary of the State's office, but that at this point was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and we've been manually updating it.
And you would like us to go through the contacts you have here and just use the previous example, for Colchester, you don't want us to reach out to Gigi, have a conversation with her and see if she's got a pathway, whether it be through the first selectman or otherwise.
I think that is fine. I think what we want to do is, so the template that we have is really geared towards chief elected officers. If you'd like to have a separate conversation, I see no problem with that. Just that email template isn't going to work for that kind of conversation.
Well, I think that's where if we have an alternate contact in the town, you could just send a separate email to that person and be like, hey, I reached out to this person in your town. If you think, there's another person that we should be talking to, can you be in touch with, Rachel and Cindy and let them know? Because we want, or give this person a nudge if you happen to run into them in the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. And I know we have been trying really hard to make sure that all of the quote unquote official nominations have been coming from town hall, just to keep us out of a place where we're making decisions for the town.
Yeah.
So I do think some of the challenges come from that, just there are lots of competing priorities. But, and I think that's where there's some delay. But I do think any other conversations that can happen are helpful.
Okay, great. So
So-
you want us to each to sign up for at least 8? Yeah. Okay.
Or sign up for whatever you feel you could kind of shepherd through. And then
Yeah.
we are also happy to just subdivide the rest. I think right now I'm most curious if folks have particular towns that they feel they could be most helpful with. And then also welcome to sign up on your own, but also we are happy to, if there are towns that nobody knows, we can divide those up too.
Cindy,
Do
do
you
you
want
want
to
to?
on this?
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Amherst. I apologize.
Oh, no need. I was just wondering, did you want to check on Colchester? Because I would sign up for that one, but did you want to find out if something came through because of this grant that came in?
Go for it, because I will say that if it's not, if it's on this list, we do not have a contact.
Okay,
Because this was updated this morning by Rachel. So
all right. Great, I will sign up for. Okay, so this is the homework. Sign up for at least 8.
Sign up for at least 8. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, whoever was it Tom? You were,
Yeah, I was just going to say, Cindy, we should just go through the share doc and mark ourselves down for this, right? As the way of signing up. Would that be okay?
yeah, that's great. I wanted to share my screen just in case anybody for any reason didn't have access to it, but it looks like most people are in here. And Kathy and Merle, I did see your comments, and I'll just make sure to assign you guys. Anyone else? I wanted to give you the opportunity to select. Thanks, Merle. John, do you have access to this document, or do you have any preference in terms of towns?
I can look it up later on and
Okay.
see if I know anybody. I don't have a good feeling based on what I'm seeing so far, but I'll take a look.
Cindy, you could put me down for New London, Shelton, Stamford, Torrington, and West Haven. We have pretty good relationships with I think they're toward the top maybe.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if anyone's gonna have much luck. Actually, never mind. Yeah, if you want to put me down for New London, Shelton, Stamford, Torrington, and West Haven, and I'll sign up for a couple more, but we have pretty strong working relationships with municipal leadership in those 5 areas, so I can get in touch with them today.
Wonderful. And I'll also say, oh darn. I spoke with somebody at the Capitol from New London, who was also going to try to work with City Hall to kind of move that forward. She was doing work with some other folks related to the 250th and felt like she might be able to make some headway. Great. So that preferences.
actually, we
in
should
here.
assign Liz to Groton. I'm taking myself off of there, shouldn't we? Because she lives in Groton, doesn't she?
I believe so.
Let's just do that and I'll put myself down for somebody else.
Great.
I'll do Killingworth.
So I'll go sharing, because I think most folks are able to see the document.
Great.
It really is very slow today, so I'm not crazy.
I was wondering, so basically the outreach that we did last time is basically this is the same thing to the towns. Were there any challenges with Did you get a pretty good response from, I mean, it seems
Got a
like
really good response.
Good.
I want to say we probably heard back pretty quickly from like 20 or so.
Yeah.
And that was within a week or two. And then since then, folks have continued to trickle in. So I think it was really helpful. Which is why we're hopeful that by trying it again, we can get some of the stragglers to kind of
Yeah.
start coming in as well.
great.
Cindy, was this for the prospective affiliate organization outreach?
So this is specifically for local committees, not so much
Hmm.
affiliates. So getting designees for who from a town should be kept in the loop of what's happening. Towns are taking completely different approaches to it, as you would expect. But we have a monthly local committee call with a range of people who have been working on this for 2 or 3 years at this point, and people who are just starting. It's a great opportunity for them to learn from one another, ask questions, and for us to just kind of give consistent updates on where we are in the process, what is going to be coming their way sometime soon, what questions they might have, stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
How has the affiliate outreach been going? I know I was kind of delinquent and I sent my emails before this meeting because I was like, I better have them done before I see Cindy and Rachel.
It's slow. I think I won't call it delinquent. I just think people have lots of competing priorities right now. And so we have heard back we are slowly starting to kind of shift this last round of affiliates. We got our first SAR, Sons of the American Revolution group to come in. A Rotary group came in for the first time. A group of joint veterans from the American Legion and VFW have formed a committee that's going to be an affiliate doing veterans work across the state. So we
Great.
are slowly broadening out from that original group of historical societies. So it's working. It's just slow.
Yeah.
But I think for some of these groups that are more tangential, I think this might be the first or maybe second time that they're hearing about the commission at all. So I think going from hearing about it to applying is probably going to take a little more time for some folks.
Great.
But yeah, so we'll finish up the contact list. As I said, everybody feel free to sign up for whoever you would like. And if not, we'll kind of assign at random. There is the email template here, and we can send out that final list of assignments with the email template. And Tom, if you notice that any email addresses or phone numbers or contact names are wrong, also feel free to just update that spreadsheet directly. That's the easiest way. And then we'll update our records from the spreadsheet. Any other questions about local committees, outreach, anything like that?
Kudos to the team for being as far along as you are. I mean, I think to get like more than 100 towns is great. So I mean, it's 64 on the list, but like, that's a pretty short list given all the town, that's good. So.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we are excited. We were very excited when we hit more than half. And now that we're at more than half, it feels even better.
Almost 2/3.
And we're slowly getting there. I would love to say we'll hit 169 by July 4th of 2026. I'm not sure if it'll actually work out that way, but
you'll be like driving to town halls before, in June, right? That's when you take the show on the road.
Piece of parchment and a quill pen. Just please, anything.
I'm sure you can get someone from the local commissions to dress up for you and bring a quill around. If that won't make people run for the hills.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we can move on to the code of conduct.
Yeah, so the conference back in March was great. Lots of people there and lots of great experiences were had. There were a couple of issues that came to our attention after the fact. And it made us realize that it would likely be helpful to adopt a code of conduct for any commission events. And just so people know what the expectations are, and what kind of appropriate behavior is. I think in general, there were very few problems, but in general, always better to have people know beforehand. We really didn't have anything to point at. So we are just requesting that if anybody has participated in conferences or programs with really great codes of conduct, anything that you felt was really helpful for you, if you could send those our way and we can kind of start to kind of gather that up and put something together for conversation at the July commission meeting. I think in particular, this committee, awesome. This committee, I think, has folks who are involved in lots of different places. So I'm hopeful that we can pull together a few different types of codes of conduct and get a sense of what would be most helpful, and pertinent to the types of events that we're hosting. But just an ask to share whatever you might have. Awesome.
Yeah, I would
I
just
think-
say that this is becoming, I think, more common among some of the conferences that I've been going to, and is something that I've thought about implementing at our conference just as kind of a best practice to get ahead of any issues. I'm also serving on the executive committee of the Agricultural History Society, and I think they have the way that it works with their annual meeting is there isn't necessarily a written code of conduct that I have seen, but there is a conference conduct committee to which, you know, who are kind of advertised as like, if you experience anything weird at the conference, come talk to one of these people about it. So I think I can put that out there as an alternative if we feel like we don't want to get into the formal space of like developing a code of conduct. You know, there's at least a process for, you know, sharing something that you feel the conference organizers should know about.
I think that's helpful.
I'll see what Nemo's got. They probably have it on, they might have it on their website.
Yeah, no, that's perfect, Kathy. I think a code of conduct will be easiest for us because we have such a broad range of events, especially less so past events, but I think coming up in the next year and a half, we're going to see a broad range of events and gatherings that we're participating in and or hosting. So I think we're hopeful that this can kind of be something we can point at. And I think we'll include some of the language from the guiding values as well. So really tailor it to the work that we've been doing. But appreciate this. And if you think of anything else, feel free to send it via email to Rachel and I, and we'll kind of add it to our pile.
I found
That's all
Nemo's.
I have. Awesome. Thank you. But I think we're okay to move on to other business. Anyone has anything else they were hoping to discuss? Quiet group.
I'm just deep in conference planning for my own organization. So that's 100% of my brain right now, I think. Well, I guess 95 because I'm here.
Took a small part away.
Right.
But yeah, no, this is really helpful. If at any point in time you have any questions or concerns, feel free to send it our way. Always happy to end a meeting early.
Yeah.
Give everybody
This
back
is
a little
great.
bit
I
of
can
their
send
day.
a follow-up email just to the committee to just give a quick recap. And, you know, I think that the assignments are to sign up for, you know, 8 towns and send any codes of conduct for events that you think are good templates to Cindy and Rachel. Great.
Cindy, apart from you and Rachel, is there anyone else who we should be copying on our outreach to the municipalities? Just you guys, right?
Yeah, and you can use that info@ct250.org email. We share that one, and so it's the easiest place to keep track of kind of these mass emails.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, how many inboxes do you have, Cindy? You've got CT250, you've got the info, you've got probably checking advocacy, you've got your regular Connecticut Humanities email. I know it's
Got a
a
few
lot. A few. All right.
shared ones, so shared responsibility. That's important.
Yeah. Well, anybody else have anything else? I'm also happy to end this early and release folks to either this beautiful day or whatever endless parade of Zoom meetings or, you know, soul crushing work you have for the rest of the day. Uplifting work. Well, it's good to see you all. Thomas, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Amber. It's good to see
Yeah.
everyone.
Thanks. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.